Okay, welcome to Functions Day 4. In this video, we're going to talk about functions. So a relation is a set of ordered pairs x comma y. A function is a relationship between a set of inputs, those are our x values, and a set of outputs, those are our y values, in which every input has one and only one output. So our domain is the set of all of the inputs, or all of our x values. The range is the set of all of the outputs, or the y values. So it's important to remember that whenever we talk about a domain, we're talking about x values, and whenever we're talking about a range, we're talking about y values. Okay, so function notation, this means that for every x value in the domain that you substitute into an equation, there is a y value in the range that is the output. So since the y value depends on the x value, the y value can be represented by f of x. So how do we read or say f of x? Just like I said, it's read f of x. So this down here is function notation. Y equals is just another way of saying f of x equals. So our output is the y, and then this is the rule of the input. So f of x. So these are equivalent. So illustration of how to interpret a function, input our x values, we put them into the function, and then we get out our y values, or the output. So how to do the math? Old school was we used to be given y equals 2x plus 3, and we were asked to find y when x equals 4, so we would just put it in place of the x. And we would do 2 parentheses when we substitute in the 4 plus 3 to get the answer of 11. New school is the same idea, it's just that we're going to say given f of x, so f of 4 this time. 4 is in place of x, so then on this side, everywhere we see an x, we're going to put that 4 in place of it, again using parentheses. So you'll notice this is exactly the same. All that's different is what's on the left-hand side, the f of 4 here, instead of y equals. F of 4 is just another way of saying y equals. Okay, so let's evaluate the following. So for this first one, it says, if f of x equals negative x squared, find f of negative 2. Well, if we think about it, the negative 2 is in place of x. Just like that, f of x, f of negative 2 now. So in place of x, I'm going to put negative 2. So you'll notice, like I said, I plugged that in, but I used parentheses. And it's very important here because this negative out front is outside of the parentheses, but then I'm squaring a negative inside the parentheses. So if we'd put that in our calculator, we would get the answer of f of negative 2 equals negative 4, and that's our answer. Okay, let's try the next one. So this one, they say, given h of x equals 3x minus 4, so that's our function, find x. So this time I don't know x. They're telling me I have to find it. That'd be silly if they told me the answer. So they're telling me if h of x equals y. Well, remember, h of x is just a fancy way of saying y equals. So this time, wherever I see h of x or the y, that's where I substitute it in. So this is the y value, so wherever I see h of x, I'm going to plug that in. So here I see h of x, that means instead of writing h of x, I'm going to put 17 in place of that. And then from there, it's a problem just like we used to do. We want to get x by itself. So what's with it that we want away from it? Then negative 4. So with the x is a negative 4, I need to get that away. So do the opposite. So that means I'm going to add 4 to both sides. And I have 21 equals 3x. Then what's connecting the 3 and the x? Because now I've got x kind of by itself, but there's 3 of them, so now I have to do the opposite, which is divide by 3, since these two are connected with multiplication, 3x. So when I do that in my calculator, I get x equals 7, or 7 equals x, which is equivalent. So my answer is x equals 7. So now before I leave you, we're going to go to this back page for a little bit because I want to talk about the graph. So this graph of the function f is shown at the right. Find the following. F of 0. Well, remember that the 0 is in place of x. So they're telling me my x value is 0. So if I go to an x value of 0, that means I'm not moving left or right. That's at 0 right there. Where do I have to go to get to the function? Well, if I go up, I see it right here. So when x is 0, what's the y value that goes with it? 1. So that's how we do those ones. We see what they gave us and then find the missing piece. Remember that we always have x's with y's. Okay, we'll see you tomorrow. Have a good night.